So, good afternoon, everyone. I'll be your host for today. So, my name is Olashayomi. This is another monthly section of SAF, a mentorship section. We host several mentorship programs to help us, to understand what's going on in our societies before we actually do more of girls, women, and everybody. So to also protect the interest of the girl child, so we have to incorporate the boys into what we do. Okay, this is SAF, and what we do in SAF. SAF is actually a non-governmental organization. We deal with teenage girls from rural communities to. We want to groom these girls by empowering them educational through with their education and diverse means to grow them into ladies of global capacity. So the founder Ebere, she's the actually the convener of the Sister Ally, which is also named as SAF. So I'm actually shy. I introduce myself. I'm the girls administrator. I deal with the girls and anything that has to do with the girls in our foundation. So I would also like you to introduce yourself. We'll start from Mr. John.
Okay, good afternoon. I'll be very quick. Okay, my name is Muizi John Obina, and I want to say a very big thank you to SAF for this privilege. I'm a business developer currently with Crusader Sterling Pensions. For now, I'll just stop there. I think we'll get to know more when we start talking. Let me hand over to Ralph.
Okay. So
Okay, yeah, good evening, everyone. I am Raphael Obasio here, a broadcast journalist. I currently work with British Radio 98.7 FM Asaba, Delta State. And of course, for the sake of passion, I also am taking up a part time job as a mentor in school. I teach also, so creative writing, cultural and creative art, and public speaking. So, and I'm actually here with some of my students. I had to invite them for this.
wow.
So we are here, they're live with me. The boys, precisely, because it's about
Wow.
them. I
That's great.
I briefed them on this particular meeting, and they all felt so interested.
Yeah. Okay. I think his network is bad. Hello,
Okay, it's trying
Mr.
to come back.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't know.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Should we just
Okay.
continue or what? I think his
Yeah,
network.
I think he will join back.
Okay,
Okay,
our
so
topic
probably
is
he's trying to get his guys together and something. So
okay. I hope
yeah.
so. So
Hello? Sorry,
Okay,
I
we can
think
okay,
hear you
no
now.
problem.
okay.
You can. Are you done, or you can just continue?
Yeah, I'm done. I think it
Can
was the network.
oh
Yeah.
okay. All right. So our topic is boys cry too. In our society, we feel like the boys, the men are the strong people. You don't need to. Like me personally, I don't believe that men need to cry. So there's this thing about when you see a guy crying. Actually, for me, I feel like if a guy is crying, guy is just shedding crocodile's tears. I don't. For me, this is
Yeah.
some experience and all. So we have a conversation about boys and their mental health. So I have few questions here. We are going to be discussing and everything. So, but I have a question before as we proceed for Mr. John.
Okay.
The question is, what are your thoughts on the societal expectation that boys and men should not cry? I don't know if you get that question.
Yeah, I understand. Let me. I think I want to do a foundational talk on the general zone called the boyhood zone.
Okay.
It's a big one because a lot of expectations are placed starting from the very first day you were given birth to. Of course, from normal tribal hits and the rest. If a lot of families, if you don't have a boy child, they see you as you've not even given birth to at all. You
Mm-hmm.
get so the moment the boy child comes, it seems that this is the main deal. This is the real deal. So there are a lot of expectations, there are a lot of push, there are a lot of demands, there are a lot, starting from the very foundational zone till whatever zone. So the society is really expecting a lot from us. Are you getting me? But there's a scripture that really hits me while I was trying to think about a particular topic. And of course, sorry, I want to just move into the believer's zone. Okay. So Psalm 78 talks about the Bible says their young men went to war and never came back. Their young women waited in vain. Did you get that? It said their
Yeah.
young men went to war and never came back. From the very first day a man is born, he begins to fight the fight of manhood. He's strongly into a war zone. Are you getting me? The war zone, the pressure, the pull, which we are going to explore as we talk more in this session. There's the pull, there's the demand to meet up to standard. In some families, there's a demand for you to you should be wonderful, so that inheritance should be placed to you. In the school, in fact, in our classes those days, they'll tell us that you are a man, you must take first, you must do this, you must do that. And these battles are actually things that these pressures, this push, this pull, and a lot of things have been and things that have really you know uh, taken over the men. Most of them didn't escape it. In our society now, you see a lot of men, they pull to get money, they pull to do a lot of things, and most persons have not really escaped it. That's why I'm really so grateful for this section, because we really need to talk to the man, and a lot of things about the men's education and the rest is missing. So there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of societal demands, there's a lot of push, and the truth is that when you are in a battle, there are a lot of things that will hit you from different zones, and of course those things have the potential and the tendency to make a man cry. So the moment you see a man cry, it might be as a result of certain pressures that have hit him so hard that he cannot take. Are you getting me? So, like you said when you started, you earlier said something about when you see a man cry, you feel this man should not cry. Why do you even think that? They are human beings like us. They have flesh and blood. They have emotions. They have everything running. They are structured. Are you getting me?
Yeah, sure.
But we want to always take it back to the foundation where God created the man and from there took out the woman, so the woman should be a weaker vessel and the rest. No, these pressures have potentials. They have the capacity to make anybody cry. Jesus, even in the Bible says when he saw Lazarus, he cried. He hit him so strong that he could not just hold back the tears. And he cried. So this push, these pressures, these demands, meet up to family responsibility, and a lot have the potential to make a man cry. So I want to say that there's a lot of demands, there's a lot of expectations on the man, and as we begin to talk, we'll begin to explore a lot of things that can help the man both, create a balance between emotional balance between understanding himself first, and knowing when and where to exhibit certain tendencies and certain attitudes. So I would want to stop there for now because there's a lot to really talk. So let me not explore
Wow.
everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. John. So I have some questions for Mr. Raphael. So how do
Okay.
you believe the stigma around boys crying affects their emotional well-being and mental health?
Okay. I would like to also say thank you so much for this opportunity. And Mr. John, he actually spoke extensively well on this. with the whole emphasis and references you made to the scriptures, and I think I picked something down. That particular verse, I've not come across it. I just had to write it down somewhere. So I had to just write it down somewhere. But then I think I will have to theoretical point of view while trying to, also, assess this stigma. But when we talk about emotion, psychologically, you look at it and people say emotions, it's about, it's for the weak. Emotions, we have different types of emotions. Of course, one can be sad, one can be happy, or one can be excited, and all of that. One can be angry, and fear is an emotion. So every one of us, so if everyone is allowed to have other emotions like excitement, why then are we not allowed to have the emotion of sadness?
True.
So you see, it's a question to anyone who thinks that boys do not cry. So that is when we look at we have something like the evolutionary theory by Charles Darwin. That's I'm just trying to remember those days in school when we were doing psychology and all of that. So you get to realize that this particular theory actually suggests that emotions have actually evolved as adaptive response. Look at that, like to organisms for survival. He states that you need emotions to survive.
True.
It's as simple as that. An example is fear. So you need fear to avoid danger. It's as simple as that. So it is necessary. So, however, we have some other something like we have the social constructive theory. These ones are the ones that, of course, when we talk about the theory that points out the social stand on emotion, that's where they say that it's not really about what you think, it's about what the society, how the society defines emotion, how the society says that you should feel about things. And that is where we have a
Hello. Can you hear us? Is still here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
So, okay. Network is kind of having some issue. Oh, God. So what I'm going to do now.
Okay. 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 Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Should we? Maybe
Okay.
she
So
does.
basically, I think he's coming back.
Okay, yeah.
So basically,
So,
I would want to pick it up from where he was what he was trying to buttress, and I feel knowing yourself and understanding yourself as a man would help you not to bow into the pressure that the society places on, the man zone, where they think that, as a man, you shouldn't express. I don't know. I don't want to say shouldn't, but they have this mindset, like you said from the beginning, that you think that men should not cry. So it means that when they have fears, when they have losses, when depression comes in and the rest and whatever, yeah, a man should not express those things because the society thinks he should not. But I feel that when you really know yourself, when you really have an understanding of who you are, when you have an understanding of who you are, that's why the need for men's education to teach the men, What in the scripture in the Bible, in I think in Titus in chapter 2 said I should teach the man to be self-controlled. So it's, having the ability to manage those emotions part time. You will feel somehow if you walk on the road and see a man crying on the street.
Sure.
Okay, we've seen instances where someone dies, and then a woman, can pull her shirts, on the road, scatter everywhere, and he wants to die. It feels somehow. It feels somehow that you would see a man, but this societal be a man thing is where I would want to, as we continue this session, I really want to talk on that. This be a man thing has put a lot of pressure on a lot of people, and it has really stopped them from even opening up, to things that could have been solved, on basic level. When somebody opens up to you, they said a problem solved, a problem shared is half solved, opening up and seeking for help. So you could see a lot of men saying, "No, I'm a man," and end up dying
In
on that man.
silence.
Same thing in marriage.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of men saying, "I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man," and still suffer abuses, suffer neglect, suffer a lot of things. We also suffer all those things. We also have all those things. So you need to understand yourself. You need to know this is who I am. This is who I'm structured to be. Okay, there's a
Mm.
configuration of a man. The configuration of a man naturally is that a man should be tough. A man
Mm.
should be hard.
Eh,
Hard man. That's why in school those days you will see that when a boy is beaten, he
no,
tends
want to
to
cry.
he tends to let me not cry. There's a small shift in that, and that shift
Yeah.
can move into the pride zone. Where
Mm.
you want to pride in the fact that you are a man and you cannot, you know, uh, yeah,
That's
just
obsessed.
yes, there should be a balance in this thing. There should be a balance in this thing
Mm.
because there are times where you need to let this thing go. You need to bust it out.
Mm-hmm.
You need to express these emotions. So the need for topics and classes and tutorials and teaching, comes to play now. And I feel
Mm.
this teaching starts from the foundational zone. I want to go back to the foundational zone, which I want to
Mm.
say is the parenting zone. You
So,
know,
Miss, sorry to cut short. Like, I just
okay,
want to ship some question in because you are going to one area that I would love to ask you a particular question so that you maybe
okay,
just treat them at once. Can you share any personal experience or observation of boys or men who have been affected by the pressure to suppress their emotion? Do you
okay,
get
okay.
the
First,
question?
yes, this thing happens. It happens every day. It happens every day. For me personally, I've had instances where I had businesses and investment where I had huge losses, and then it got to a point where I mean it just have to flow, and then you see somebody saying, you have to be a man, you have to be a man, you get. So there are a lot of experiences around it. Are you getting me? Like Ralph was trying to say, there are a lot of societal push, there are a lot of societal pressures on the fact that we are not supposed to express emotion, we are not supposed to express the pain of regret. I've had instances where I sat down to think about things that I was supposed to have done that I've not done, or opportunities I missed. And at those points, even deep down inside, I just have to express this. And these are real things. This is a meeting where we just have to be real as men. And just have to
Mm.
speak to ourselves and say, see, there are times you cry. Are you getting? So we've had
Mhm.
experiences, we've had touch, we've had situations where we had to just go back, man, and Jesus, and we wept also. You get so
You were-
you know
I was going to
so
say that.
and Jesus wept. So that's the position that we find ourselves in, where a lot of persons want to suppress it, and then at the end of the day lose touch of the intelligence that should have come after that expression.
Mm.
Do you understand? A cry is like a burst out. And sometimes you have to let this thing go so that you can relax.
Mm.
You need to let these emotions go so that you can relax. It's like if you are angry, there are times where you just have to show this anger.
Mm-hmm.
You get you express it and you relax. There are some persons I know that until these things are expressed, they don't relax. So that's why I said you need to first of all understand yourself. You need to understand yourself and know who you are as a man, so that you will know different situations and different timings where you express this emotional pull. Are you getting me? So let me stop there.
Okay. Mr. Raf, I have a question for you too. So, what are some potential consequences of discouraging boys from expressing their emotion through crying? Let me take that again. What are some potential consequences of discouraging boys from expressing their emotions through crying? Is it here? Is Mr. Raf here with us?
You hear
Hello,
me?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Can do you get the
Can you hear
question?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, all right, yeah. So, if I heard you right, you are saying the consequences of discouraging boys from expressing their emotions through crying, right?
Yes.
Of course, we have lots of them. So when you look at this particular issue, just like Mr. John has said, it's quite important that we look at these consequences. When you talk about emotional suppression, situation where you are not allowed to express yourself through crying, you see that it can actually result to some kind of a buildup of stress and tension. I've been in this kind of situation while I was growing up as a boy. So I'm kind of speaking from experience. And that was why I also brought this my students around here to also lend their voices, because I want to really understand if
Is this still here with us? I don't understand. Like his network is a bit bad. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are we still together?
hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I
can
can
hear
hear
you
you
now.
now.
Okay. I said this suppressing emotion can result to stress and tension. I'm speaking from experience. So, this can also potentially lead to one's inability to express themselves effectively. So, when you give me the impression that I am a boy or I am a man, I have no right to cry. So I feel okay, I have to bottle it up. And you know what it means to bottle something up at that point, something that you are meant, like
To
nature
let go. Yeah.
expects you to let it out, and you are bottling it up. But you are indirectly fighting nature at that point in time. It's just like a man who says, "I'm a man and I don't want to sleep," and you know the result of that. When you say, "I'm a man," because you're a man, you are strong, you don't want to sleep. No matter how long you stay awake, you will one day get knocked down by the forces of nature. It's as simple as that. So at that point, when you tell me that I am a boy and I need to suppress my emotions, I shouldn't express my emotions through crying. I am vulnerable to stress. You are pushing me to stress. You are pushing me to a lot of tension, which of course can result to my inability to express myself effectively. So we have other things. Hello, can you hear me? All right. So we have also that can also make someone limit their emotional vocabulary. That means your ability to look for all that, because crying is a natural, instinctive way for individuals to communicate and release emotions. It is as simple as that. So crying is part of communication. So I did mass communication. So we have different mediums for communication. You have your body language and different forms of communication. You have a body language, verbal communication. Crying is also a form of communication. So it's natural. So you are meant to express yourself via crying. Some persons even cry tears of joy. The one we call tears of joy, it comes out. So the tears of sadness is also natural. So one should be allowed to express themselves. It's as simple as that. So when you now, suppress that emotion, you are beginning to limit emotional vocabulary at that point. So when the person really needs to now express themselves via crying, they'll be discouraged to do that. It's as simple as that. So, and that can actually result to struggling to identify and articulate feelings accurately. It's a very big problem. So, and all these things, when they put together, this can also hinder emotional intelligence. I heard John mention that the intelligence you are meant to, develop after bottling out your or releasing that emotion, you won't be able to get it anymore, because at that point you are still struggling inside of you, within you. So we are even of course it affects mental health. A lot of things, we have lots of consequences. You have impaired mental health. It's actually risky.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said at a point, anxiety, depression would begin to build in when talking about its effect as regards mental health, on mental health. When anxiety and depression begin to build in, a lot of things will begin to come up. People begin to get isolated. And we've had lots of cases of suicides and all of that. People go suicidal because of this stigma, because there's pressure. We expect you to act like this from the society. So a lot of things, and you think a lot of things happen. The boys, this thing we have here is a heart and not a stone. I just, it is a heart and it's not a stone. We all have blood running through our veins. The boys do not have crude oil in their veins. So we're all human. So that, when you now expect them to act differently out of what nature has placed them to, it's a big problem. It can affect the mental health. And again, it also results to unhealthy. You see, people begin to now look at their unhealthy. We have unhealthy coping mechanisms. Okay, now how do you cope to when you are sad? You are told, don't cry, don't show that you are sad. So what is the option? What's the alternative? You see, people begin to tell you, okay, when I'm sad, what do you do when you are sad? Someone will tell you, I can just take one or two sticks of cigarette. I can just take 5 bottles of beer, and I'm okay. Now they'll begin to tilt towards unhealthy coping approaches, and these things also affect physically, mentally, and otherwise. So these are the consequences when you are suppressing people's emotions.
Mm.
You are telling a child, don't cry, don't cry, you're a man, boys don't cry, and all of that. They'll begin to look for a way to now control that tears you've asked them not to shed. It's as simple as that. So, and now
So
we also have, of course, this can also affect relationship. We have a lot of challenges. Your relationship, this is a boy, when he grows old and becomes a man and he wants to go into a relationship, of course, thank God you're a lady, you're a woman. So imagine what it feels like. Your man is somebody who shows no emotion. When he's supposed to show an emotion, he tells you, I'm a man. Men do not say sorry.
mm.
How would you feel about that?
So hello, can you hear me? Hello. And so this network is bad. Hello. So we are still on the topic boys cry too. So our guests have been shedding more light on the fact that boys also cry and boys need to cry. Like you need to let all these emotions, everything, you need to let it go. So it's like a building up of everything. When you're at the peak, you just have to let it go and everything. As we wait for our guests to come back here. I don't. Can anybody hear me? Somebody might hear you. Hello. Okay, I think we just have to, wait for them to come back. Oh God. God.
Hi, Ifeoluwa, can you hear me?
Um, so we have to wait for them. Um, so I think I'll just. Okay, Mr. John is coming back.
Okay,
Hello,
sorry.
Mr. John. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I think I had a little issue with my network.
I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Can
Can
you
you
hear
hear
me?
me? Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello? Can you hear me?
Can you hear you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So, can you hear me?
Ifeoluwa, can you hear me?
Okay. So I've picked a lot of you know stuff, a lot of points why our guests were talking, and they were saying a whole lot the need for men, boy to let out their emotion. And Mr. John, welcome back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me or something.
I can hear you perfectly. I can hear you.
I don't know.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, nobody hear me because I can't hear Mr. John. Is he saying something?
Yes, yes, I'm saying something. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? I can hear you.
I can hear you now. So sorry for, I think the network is having issues and everything. So from where we stopped, can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, I can.
So
I
I will just,
can.
so we'll just pick up from where we stopped, and I would just like you to, how can how can these challenges, and how can we break down the gender stereotype surrounding boys and crime? How can we challenge and break down the gender stereotype surrounding boys and crime? I don't know if you understand the question.
Yes, I understand. I understand. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. This is one way we can do these things. What SAF is doing is one of the best methods. I'm not saying I'm saying one of the best methods we can use in challenging these stereotypes. Trainings, educational summits, impactful sessions where we can teach the boys, teach the men. I think if you've heard me over and over, I'll always emphasize the place of teaching the men, which takes me to the place of mentorship. It takes me to the mentorship. If you read the scripture, you'll see the scripture talking about let the older women teach the younger women, let the older men also teach the younger men. Again, I don't want to talk about the availabilities of mentors, but I want to say that there are mentors who have had experiences of whatever topic or whatever dimensions we are talking about and can actually train. Are you getting me? Can actually train. Can you hear me? Can actually train the young man in the hood called, that hood called the boyhood, the boy manhood. Are you getting me? I run a platform called the Boys to Men platform. What we want to do is to let the men understand that there's a point of transmission. When you grow from a boy into a man, there are different stages, and so you understand certain things, and this thing cannot just happen. There are two ways a man can grow. You can grow by design, and you can grow by default. A man growing by default, anything comes. Societal pressure can hit you anywhere. Peer pressure can come. A lot of things can just come. The pull to have money. If you check these days, every young man you see on the road is all about money. If there's no money, there's no relationship. If there's no money, there's no relevance. If there's no money, there's nothing. Money must be involved. So you see a lot of younger men cannot serve. One of the ways to break whatever we are discussing, which is going to not just crime, a lot of things about emotional structuring and balancing, is that men must subject themselves to service and mentorship. This helps you to grow. This builds your capacity to handle pressure at different stage. I had a mentor. He's still my mentor. Those days growing up, I can't address a crowd. I can't talk to a large chunk of persons. If I stay in front of you, I'll just disappear. When you stand in front of persons, and at that point you have this very strong urge to use the restroom. That's how it was. But he would tell me, go get this thing done. Go get this thing done. Go get this thing done. And one of the things I just believe about it is that if he is telling me to go get this thing done, it means that there's something he sees in me that I can do. Can you hear me? So there's something
Yeah.
he sees in me that I can do. So I go with that might, I go with that confidence, knowing that there's somebody who sees bigger than me. But because I have the understanding of what he is also saying, I go and just do it. And most times I just go and do it and I come out with great results. And when I come out with this great result, I'm happy. So this is where training and mentorship comes in. A lot of boys in our time don't want to be mentored. They want to live their life by default and not by design. If you must live your life by design, the Bible says there's a way that seems right unto a man. That one leads to destruction. But there's a path that needs guidance. There's a path that needs guidance. What Ralph is doing with his boys is constructive guidance that will help them build
emotional strength, that will help them build capacity. What people are hearing now would help them build, build themselves up emotionally, psychologically, in all dimensions. I remember and grow. So I will say that one of the ways you can challenge whatever norms we are facing as boys is that we must consciously. In fact, but when I saw this meeting by SAF, I was ashamed of myself, because this is what men, this is what boys we should do. This is what we should not wait for sisters to organize forums where we teach boys education. No, I'm telling you the truth. We should even cry. We should cry. We should cry for this.
So,
To cry for
Mr.
this.
John, thanks. We are behind schedule. So I will also want to give the floor to Mr. Ralph. And I have a question for you. In your opinion, what role can parent and caregiver play in encouraging boys to express their emotion, including crying in a healthy way? Is Mr. Ralph still with us?
Yeah, I've been just been trying to get a stable network.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Uh, so is it still with us, or should we?
Yes, I think he's trying to get a stable network.
Okay. So I think we should just wait for him for some seconds. So, Mr. John, can you just shed some light before we have Mr. Ralph? So maybe when you just have him back, you just let him take the
Yeah, I was talking about living by default and by design.
floor. Okay.
Okay, so what I said was, in living by design, you must understand the design path. It's like building a house. There's a design for a house. Are you getting me? When
Yeah.
you want to build a house, you build based on the specification of that design. Are you getting me? And that's
Yeah.
why teachings and trainings like this, because the question you asked then was, how do we challenge these things? How do we challenge these things? Teachings and training like this can help the young guys and even the men, the adults, the grown up, because the challenge we have in our time is that men think they know everything, and a lot of men are not open to learning. It has created a lot of harm. A lot of men are not open to learning. And that's why I was talking to a group of young guys. I said, one of the things that can make a man, one of the things that qualifies you as a man is that you are open to learning. Secondly, you are open to rebuke and correction. Okay, so I'm kind of digressing a little bit from the cry thing. Are you getting me?
Mm-hmm.
But if we must keep our mental structure together, which which is like the total odds. Are you getting me? We must be open to teachings. We must be open to corrections. We must be open to rebuke. So you see men these days, you tell them something, they think they know these things all. You get, but the truth is that you don't know these things all. Okay, so you see them living by, they just live as things come, it happens. You know what it is, a default setting. They just live like that. Anything goes, no integrity, no, no compassion, and the rest. That's why you can see that most of them cannot cry, because even though when they see somebody suffering, you can see someone suffering and compassion can move you to shedding tears. So once you've not grown, you've not structurally grown, you've not been built, you don't have this capacity. You won't, these things will not come out from you. These things will not come out from you. So I'm saying that we need to start living by design, and this, one of the ways we can help men structure themselves on the design part, is that there must be trainings, there must be teaching. Let forums like this come. I feel this is just one of the ways. Every day, if you see mentorship should go, we should gather a set of young men. We should gather a set of young men who have, at least conquered the stage of life, and allocate boys to them. I have a forum where I have young guys, where we allocate boys, we allocate young guys on. We tell them, you are in charge of these guys, you are in charge of these guys. They also feel. Recently, I met a young man. He was telling me his experiences as a young man. I was trying to ask myself, how would this one grow? What would this one's life become of? Growing in a house where they have fetish practices, but he wants to, distinguish himself as a believer. He likes the ways of the Lord and he wants to be a Christian, but he is the first. And, of course, in this thing, you must take over whatever practices. So how can that one, where by what we think he has missed it from the down structure. Well, maybe from the home, it's the traditional way, it's the cultural way, it's the normal way. That is what it
Oh,
should be.
thanks so much. So, Mr. John, I still have a lot of questions for you because of our time. I think you just help us with time management and all. So, are there any cultural or societal factors that contribute to perception that boys should not cry? And how can we address this factor? I was saying something earlier that I was like, if I see any man crying, and okay, I'm just saying from experience, because okay, there was one time I saw a guy crying. Okay, I was there, and I was so sure that this tears is not real. Like, I don't know, and we might later find this. I know that the boys sometimes feel like we women, ladies, are soft. So when they share these tears, we will be able to move into compassion and everything. So I just ship that in. And this question: are there any cultural or societal factors that contributes to the perception that boys should not cry? And how can we address the factor? We can just in few seconds so that we give the floor to Mr. Raphael. Mr. Raphael is glad to see you back. So, Mr. John.
Okay, so I just want to say two things. One, crying is no weakness. Okay,
Okay.
so when you see a man cry, it does not necessarily depict that the man is weak. Okay, so we've said this thing, it's a natural pull. It's there. We have emotions. So the society must understand that when a man cries, does not necessarily show that he is weak or he's manipulative, like you've insinuated when you said, you get, precious things can happen. Secondly, we must stop this idea what we feel as a society that men self-reliance. Men should get it done by themselves. You don't need the help as a man. You must get it. No, 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 no. You must seek help. You must look out for help. Are you getting me? So the society wants to make you feel that ah, you don't need help as a man. You must attend to it as a man. You must do this as a man. Is a man, is a man, is a man. No, 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 no. No. You must develop that structure, that helps you open up to seeking out for help. So men should also seek out for help. Let me manage time now.
Like Mr. Mr. John is also Mr. Raf is also out again. Mr. John, what steps can school and educational institutes take to create an environment that promotes emotional expression and individual for boys, industrial for boys? Can you hear me?
think it's out. Okay. So if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section and we pick and ask our guest. But the section has been interesting so far. We've seen a whole lot that the boys need to cry and it's not a bad idea. And there's a design. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I don't know. Should we wait for them or
Okay, so the conversation has been really interesting. To be honest, I've been listening, but I don't know how we are really going to handle this network issue, to be honest. It's always affecting our sessions, and I don't know how we can manage it. I don't know how we can afford to manage it. So, but so far the section has been good, and they've been sharing valuable information so far. I just hope a lot of boys can get to watch this patiently, and regardless of all the hitches with the network and all, just get the messages in between. Because the truth is, if we have dysfunctional men in the society, the environment is unsafe for women and girls. So, and no matter how much we talk to women, no matter how much we talk to boys, if we don't address the men as well, like no matter how much we talk to the men and girls, if we don't talk to the men and boys, I just feel like we are empowering women to still go back to unsafe environments, because a man that is not mentally stable, because this thing we are talking about crime, just like Ralph was trying to mention, it can go beyond, by the time people build up emotions, that's when you see men that are violent, men that are aggressive, men that are easily triggered because they have a lot of unaddressed issues hidden behind the mask of and being a man. Right. So I feel like this is very important, and I hope that a lot of boys and girls can get to really have the patience to listen to this section, regardless of all the issues. With this network issue, I don't know what we're going to do honestly, because each month we keep having challenges like, I don't know, maybe meet, convene and see if there are other alternative platforms that we can use. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Please let me allow you round off. I just wanted to keep
No,
the
no,
section
no.
going until came back.
I feel we can have a repeat section. You know,
Okay.
there are a lot of things we've not been able to address because we are trying to cut time. But the truth is that we can't still exhaust it, but we'll try our best. It's a big concern. It's a big concern. Having stayed around the campuses and schools and what our guys are turning into, one of the fears you have is what the next generation will look like. Where integrity is no longer what people look at. Nothing, anything just goes, and it's really, 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 really painful. Okay, so I feel let's structure ourselves and have a better time where we can, I feel sisters, SAF is a broad network. It's a broad network. I'm perceiving something broader than what you guys are doing, and I still feel we can get across to a large chunk of persons. We can't stop here. We can't stop here. We can't be tired. We can't be discouraged. We are emotionally strong. We are balanced, and we must let the world know that there are people who care about the mental state of a man. If not, these men will build these men will build these things and take it into families and homes, and then give birth to children that will not be sound also. Are you getting me? So a lot of things marriages are facing is because both parents, both teachers, everyone has a work to do. Everyone has a work to do when it comes to the general structure, both male and female. I get me. And I think we really need to give this a push. We really need to give it. I want to say a very big thank you to SAF. A very thank you so much. We are doing a great work. Uh, and I feel we should have a repeat section of we might cover broader topics. We might be more settled. We'll look for alternative network and we'll get this done. But I want to challenge the men wherever you are. Be open to rebuke and correction. A man who is not open to correction eh, will become a tormentor himself because nobody corrects him, nobody speaks to him, nobody disciplines him. Are you getting me? This is what I'm saying to the men wherever you are. If you don't have that figure in your life that you know corrects you, rebukes you, and the rest, you grow into nothing. And like I used to say to this thing, having money and the rest is not the end of is not the end of it. There are a lot of things that are around relevance that is beyond just having money. Okay, so you can build integrity, you can build a lot of things as a man. I think Raf is here. Raf is here. So let's
Honestly, I'm so sorry for the interruption. The network has just been so unfavorable around here.
but we
Can you
can
hear
pick it
me?
up from here. Yes, we can.
All right. I really don't know the stage at which you are right now, but then I think it's a kind of a summation right now on what
Yeah,
has
we're
been said
rounding
so.
up. Just last words.
Okay. All right. It's good for parents and caregivers to ensure that they do everything possible to let the boys know that they are as unique as any other gender, of course. So, and it's very important to normalize emotion. So normalizing emotion is one thing we have to do. No emotion is meant for a particular or a specific gender. And the boys too. During the boy child day in particular, I conducted a vox pop. I went to some schools in Asaba and I spoke with the boys. One of them mentioned something about career discrimination. That is also one of the problems we have when they tell you, you want to go and read catering in school. That is for a lady. Do you understand? It also affects. So all of these things are the challenges the boy child face. So we have to look at the career path and encourage these boys that it's about what they have passion for. Of course, something positive that they have passion for, they can always go in for it and create room for expression, emotional expression. If you are a mother, if you are a father, when was the last time you had one-on-one conversation with your boy? When was the last time? It's very important that we sit people down. You'd be surprised to find out what they've been bottling up in their hearts. We need to. I met one of my students the other day and I said, please go tell your father, get this for 1 or 2 practical classes. And the person was like, I noticed that there was no free flow of conversation at home with the father. Maybe this kind of rigid dad that would scare you away. That is not really how to do the things these days. You have to create a platform for this boy. Not just, let's just generalize it right now. Your child, a child should be able to meet the father, the mother, and talk to them. That should be the normal thing. So we should normalize emotion. We should, of course, the other points that I got to find out recently, and not that I got to find out recently, even myself, when I did mass communication, you got to realize that there was a time I told a friend then, oh, you studied mass communication. Don't be women, cause that. So and it actually is actually translated into the number of persons we had in class then. We're up to 600. I think we had about 500 ladies and just 100 males. So it's all of that. We have to look at how to normalize emotions, the career part, and also create an environment that encourages emotional expression. And of course, also teach the boys how to cope with emotions. Teach them healthy coping mechanisms. Tell them that when they are sad, they don't go to take 1 or 2 bottles to step down the stress. That will lead to addiction. Encourage them. You can cry, go to your room, cry, wipe away your tears, and come back. Be a man. Yeah, that's what makes you a man. Cry and get back, and not don't cry at all. So everybody cries. So we have to express our emotions. We have to learn how to let things out of us. It's very much important. I don't know if do you have anything to say to them? Like I said to you, I had 1 or 2 persons. This is Cassie. Cassie, say hi and tell them what. Hi. Yeah, we're playing chess right now. So we are playing chess. This is
Wow.
So it's part of it. Before now, they had given me their own experiences. They all second to they all agree to this whole stigma thing. On 1 or 2 occasions, their father, their mother would tell them, "You're a man, you're a boy." Okay, let me just wrap it up with my own experience. Where,
that person.
while I was growing up, I had dyslexia. That's reading and writing disability. I had to go off it at some point in my life. But then I know what growing up there, my father would always tell me, you are just so dumb. And there was a time my father actually compared me to a fowl. And I was like, okay, that was that. Because I would always come back home with a very poor, colorful result. It was colorful in the sense that you see different, you see the red pen, a lot of them, then you see blue and black on my result. And then he would tell me, of course, my result would tell 39 out of 40. And he would tell me, yeah, this last person where you they pass, so that means that person not be human being at all. So it actually brought me down emotionally, and in that I was not even expected to cry. No, you don't even try to cry. You don't even express your emotion. You don't even have the right to cry because you were expected to do well. So, and what actually got him mad in the first instance was that the person who took first was a girl. So and it feels like, you're a man and the girl is taking. I know that to them it's a kind of a way of trying to encourage you, to spur you into action and all of that. But then sometimes it's if not for the child in question, it could actually result to suicidal thoughts. My phone is off. Lots of
Wow. John, do you have anything to say with regards
No,
to
no, no.
this?
I think he has said he has said it all. Majorly, he said something about I want to call it your parental words. What you say to your children, you know, matters a lot. What you say to your children matters a lot. Recently, I told my pastor, I said, Pastor, you don't call me big man again. What's up? You know, as little as it is, as little as that is, it forms something in my mind. Anytime I call him and I hear that word big man, there's this vibes I have inside of me. So even as parents, I'm trusting God to help us to be wonderful parents. And that's what we're building this structure for. So that we can be wonderful parents where we are available, where we can also listen and be sensitive to the needs of our words per time. And a lot of parents are not sensitive to the emotional changes of their words. You understand me? Because as he goes out and interacts with his peers and people, he encounters a lot. Like the first scripture I read, a lot of their men were consumed in war, and their females had no wedding song. So of course, the as we go out into the society is a war zone. You meet different arrows, meet different heat, meet a lot of things. You could see parents and young boys developing strong addictions in front of their parents, and they are not available. You understand me? Are you getting me? So boys must confess. Somebody say boys must confess. Okay, true, boys must confess. But please, let's not kill them with that pressure. Are
Yeah.
you getting me? Let it be from the standpoint of encouraging them to come out strong. Okay, but let's not kill them. For me, that's someone like me. I didn't grow up as one of the best in my classes, but I just see my parents telling me that, John, you're better, you're bigger. And the day I took second in class, man, it was good for me, and I had to go back with that strong motivation that I can get this thing done, I can do better, I can be the best of who I am. So we must teach these boys to really understand themselves. I said this thing when I started. From the very foundation of growth, you must try to teach them to understand who they are part time, so that the place of comparison, competition, and the rest would not, take the front stage. Will not take the front stage. Yes, we know competition is good. It's also healthy competition is good, but the place of comparison and the rest. If this one is not doing well, you see parents when they come back from school, they tell their, well, look at Mama Nkechi, look at Mama Nkechi's son doing like this, and look at you. I've seen a lot of parents push their children into rituals, into a lot of things, because you want to tell them that, look at this one is buying this thing, look at this one is buying this. I want to bless God for my parents. It really helps me in that. Never a day did they ever say, John, look at your mates doing this thing. They'll come back and say, you can be the best, you can grow yourself, you can be better. And thank God this is where we are, and we're growing better and we're growing stronger. So parents, we the upcoming parents and parents that now must be actively involved, must be actively involved. We must be available. We must be available. Then we must also be sensitive to the needs of our male child with our words, with our actions and the likes. We can't exhaust this today. We can't exhaust this today, because it goes through, it goes beyond just what we are saying. Are you getting me? It goes beyond what we are saying. It goes to a point where, so let's leave it at this. Let's leave it at this. We are looking at time. So, baby, thank you so much for what you're doing. We'll keep
Thank
on.
you, sir.
So, I want to speak to every male. You know, as you've grown at different place, look out for a young, growing child and encourage. Develop compassion. Develop compassion, and let's see how we can secure the next generation. This our generation. I don't want to say it's almost gone, but we are healing it. There's healing for us. So we can do this work now and secure the next generation. And believe me, we'll have a healthy environment where ladies can express themselves, where ladies can be secured, very important, where ladies can be free without the fear of the fact that, one guy somewhere that has not been tamed or has not been, properly cultured, will just do so. So I'm encouraging every guy out there to be the best they can, to develop integrity, and to know that, listen to me, the world is looking out for us. The ladies are also looking out for us. Okay, so we must develop and be the best. Oluwa say, Oluwa, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oluwa, please, can I pronounce that?
Is that?
Okay. Okay. I wanted to get the pronunciation.
Okay, it's Oluwashayomi.
Okay, Oluwashayomi. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. You're from Ekiti, right?
No, from Ondo State.
Okay. Thank you.
I thank you for having me, sir.